The following is not intended to be a rigorous academic classification, but rather a practical overview of the most common content patterns that reliably provoke strong emotional reactions, high engagement, and increased visibility through social media algorithms. These formats work because they exploit basic human emotions such as anger, fear, nostalgia, envy, empathy, or sensory pleasure. If you are a content creator, you can exploit these mechanisms. If you are a platform user, be aware that they can be used to emotionally manipulate you.
Rage bait, also known as outrage content or rage farming. This type of content is intentionally designed to make people angry. It often includes provocative opinions, oversimplified hot takes, deliberately misleading headlines, or open trolling. The goal is not to convince, but to trigger an emotional response strong enough to make people comment, argue, quote tweet, or share an outrage. Rage bait spreads extremely fast because anger motivates action more reliably than agreement. People feel compelled to correct, attack, or expose the creator, which paradoxically boosts the content's reach. While highly effective for engagement, this format contributes heavily to polarization, online hostility, and long-term emotional burnout among audiences.
Doom content, formerly doom scrolling or anxiety-driven content. This category focuses on catastrophic narratives and negative future scenarios. Typical examples include non-stop coverage of disasters, economic collapse, pandemics, climate apocalypse scenarios, or claims that society is on the brink of failure. The emotional hook here is anxiety mixed with perceived urgency. Viewers keep scrolling not because the content feels good, but because they feel they need to stay informed. Over time, this leads to doom scrolling, compulsive consumption of negative news, which increases stress, helplessness, and a distorted sense of reality where everything feels permanently on the verge of collapse.
Fear-driven content. Fear-based content overlaps with doom content but has a different emphasis. Instead of global catastrophe, it focuses on personal threats, hidden dangers, conspiracies, warnings about everyday activities, or claims that they don't want you to know this. This content thrives on paranoia and survival instincts. It often frames the creator as someone revealing secret knowledge that keeps viewers safe. While compelling, it can gradually erode trust in institutions, encourage irrational fears, and push audiences toward conspiratorial thinking and chronic vigilance.
Emotional drama content. This format is built around intense emotional storytelling. It includes tear-jerking personal stories, shocking plot twists, public breakdowns, family conflicts, or highly dramatized real-life tragedies. Social media platforms reward this content because emotional arousal, especially sadness or shock, keeps viewers engaged longer. While empathy is the entry point, repeated exposure can desensitize audiences or turn real human suffering into entertainment. Over time, viewers may crave stronger and stronger emotional hits, while creators feel pressured to escalate drama to stay relevant.
Nostalgia content. Nostalgia-based content taps into fond memories of the past, childhood experiences, old technology, music, movies, or specific decades like the 80s or 90s. It evokes warmth, safety, and a sense of lost simplicity. This type of content is powerful because it lowers emotional defenses and creates instant connection. However, it can also encourage escapism, idealize the past, and subtly frame the present as inferior or broken even when that comparison isn't accurate.
Exploitation of hardship content, formerly poverty-focused content. This content centers on extreme poverty, suffering, or hardship, often presented in a way meant to evoke pity, guilt, or moral superiority. It is frequently framed as awareness-raising or charitable, but critics argue it often crosses into voyeurism. The emotional reaction is strong, but the subjects are rarely given full agency or context. Instead, their suffering becomes a tool for engagement, branding, or feel-good reactions from viewers rather than meaningful structural discussion or long-term solutions.
Food aesthetic content. Highly stylized food photos and videos, dripping cheese slow-motion cuts, perfect desserts, or oversized portions dominate platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. This content appeals directly to the senses and triggers instant desire. It is easy to consume, easy to share, and algorithm-friendly. At the same time, it often promotes unrealistic standards, encourages mindless consumption, and can lead to procrastination or unhealthy eating patterns when consumed excessively.
Travel fantasy content. This category showcases visually stunning locations, tropical beaches, luxury hotels, scenic city views, and cinematic drone shots. It sells a fantasy of freedom, beauty, and escape from ordinary life. What's often missing is real-world context, costs, logistics, work constraints, or local issues. While inspiring, this content can fuel envy, dissatisfaction, and the feeling that everyone else is living a better life, even when the portrayal is heavily curated.
Luxury real estate content. Luxury home tours, dream apartments, dramatic renovations, and perfect life interiors are extremely popular on platforms like YouTube and Pinterest. They combine visual pleasure with aspirational fantasy. The downside is that constant exposure can distort expectations and amplify dissatisfaction with one's own living conditions. Instead of motivation, viewers may experience quiet frustration or a sense of personal failure due to unrealistic comparisons.
Inspirational hero narratives. This format presents motivational stories, often focusing on individuals overcoming extreme adversity. While intended to uplift, it is frequently criticized for turning real people, especially those with disabilities or hardships, into symbols rather than full human beings. The inspiration comes at the cost of nuance. Structural problems disappear, replaced by simplified, if they did it, anyone can narratives that may unintentionally shame others who struggle under different circumstances.
Oddly satisfying content. These videos feature repetitive, orderly, or visually pleasing processes, cleaning, cutting, sorting, symmetry, machinery in motion, or precise construction work. The appeal is largely sensory and often asthma-like. This content is calming, hypnotic, and easy to binge. While relatively harmless compared to other categories, it can still become a form of passive escapism, a way to disengage from thinking rather than actively relax or reflect.
In summary, from the paralyzing grip of doom scrolling to the deceptive comfort of nostalgia, and from the voyeuristic tension of hardship content to the curated perfection of luxury fantasies, each category reveals a core mechanism of digital engagement: the strategic targeting of specific emotional states to capture and retain attention. While the immediate triggers vary: fear, envy, aspiration, anxiety, or satisfaction, the underlying effect is often a similar trade-off. Viewers gain a temporary emotional hit or escape at the potential cost of a distorted reality, eroded well-being, and a passive, consumptive relationship with the world. Ultimately, this taxonomy underscores that the most compelling content online is rarely neutral. It is engineered to harness our deepest instincts, often leaving us more connected to the platform than to a genuine understanding of ourselves or our society.